Hey guys, welcome back to another Power Trip Retrospective.
We got a good one today.
We do have a good one today.
This is a fun one.
One of my personal favorites too.
Absolutely.
We are discussing
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
TMNT.
TMNT,
number
man.
1.
Damn, the original.
God.
Not the side-scrolling beat 'em up brouhaha that is
That
the
everybody's
games
used
now.
to. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. This is actually the original one. This was the action-adventure platforming game. It came out in June 1989, and what most people don't know is that they thought, oh, Konami didn't always own the rights to the Nintendo version of TMNT. It was Ultra beforehand. However, Ultra was actually a subsidiary of Konami.
Motherfucker.
Because when Nintendo first came out, in order to avoid the glut of crappy games, each third-party licensor that they were only allowed to produce 5 games a year.
5 titles.
So they basically had to put their best foot forward and just make some great stuff because you only had a limited amount of times to do it per year.
Yes, sir.
Well, then they realized they screwed themselves because Konami was one of their best developers. So they said, well, okay, now this is screwing us because we can only make 5 games a year. We need you guys to get out some more games. So what they did was they created a subsidiary called Ultra Games.
Ultra!
And so Ultra actually had, I believe, TMNT was under the Ultra Games banner, and Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge were also under the Ultra.
That is
label.
right. It was Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Metal Gear.
Yes.
What is Metal Gear? It's not.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but TMNT, man, this game
Yeah.
is beloved by a lot of people, but also
It is
hated
beloved
at the same
and
time.
it most certainly is. It is definitely the redheaded stepchild of the TMNT series.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't even just say on the Nintendo, but of the entire series in general.
I'd say it kind of falls into that Battletoads category, where it's loved and hated all at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely loved, but I think its difficulty is very well established and very well known, and so that causes people to really kind of dislike certain aspects and elements of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's start off right away. This is going to be a hard one to do, but difficulty. See, now this one's a really strange title because it's hard, but I got a follow-up to that.
It's
I don't know why I said that.
There are certain aspects of this game that are very easy. Like the first level, a lot of people seem to think that the dam level, which is number 2, where you have to go underwater and stop all the bombs, or
Defuse the bombs. Yeah.
They think that is like the hardest level in the entire game. It's only the second level, and it's really not that hard. How people started thinking that was like, oh my god, how are you ever going to beat this level? It's not that difficult.
Hey man, Turbo Tunnel. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah,
The speeder bikes.
Yep.
It's kind of the same theory.
Yep, same
Like,
theory.
how could it get harder than this?
Yeah. Well, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Level 4 starts to really get a little bit difficult, and then the Technodrome, level 5, and definitely level 6 when you're inside the Technodrome. That ramps up the difficulty to a whole nother stratosphere.
I would say level 5 is where shit starts getting real.
Shit
It
does start
really
getting real.
does. Because you start getting hit with all these enemies that take more than one hit all of a sudden, even with the scrolls.
Yeah.
Which is like the end-all weapon of that fucking game.
And they do more than one full peg of damage as well, too, if they touch you.
I mean, you can tell it's hard right off the bat because the music's different on every level, and it's tough. Level 5 really is a tricky dicky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
and then level 6 just completely knocks everything it just knocks it away
right
and
into
says,
the
"Yep, I am going to just annihilate you."
I'm gonna crush your spirit.
Basically, yeah.
Because
those
does.
Floating astronaut guys that shoot the lasers are just absolutely.
Lord knows it almost got you. It almost got you in our playthrough, buddy. I watched it before we recorded this.
I'm okay.
It was amazing. The shit this fucking guy pulled off. Woo, baby.
So as far as difficulty goes, I would actually give this game an 8.
I didn't see that coming.
Really?
I was gonna say 6.
This is definitely not a 6. This is an 8 to me because that last level you have limited amount of continues. You only have 3 continues, and yes, you have the four turtles, but obviously everybody knows that in this game, Michelangelo and Raphael are absolutely useless.
Not to mention, you lose one, you're all the way back at the start, regardless,
Correct.
with everyone still in their current state.
Yep.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could go as high as an 8, though. Because a lot of the game's difficulty comes from the mechanics. The shitty mechanics that fail this game. Which is why I think, to me anyway, it's not as fun as, like, its successors. Which I suppose is comparing apples and oranges, considering the genre changed. But
yeah.
The fact that your jump is goofy as hell, just the hit detection is all over the fucking place. You're hitting guys that you're not even close to. You're getting hit by guys that aren't even close to you. The varying damage degrees where suddenly you're killing guys in one hit, and then all of a sudden it takes 2, or they take away half a peg. Now all of a sudden it's a peg and a half. What?
Mm-hmm.
Like
there are inconsistencies. You're right.
The shifting enemy sets that just seem so arbitrary. Like I feel like that is what adds to the difficulty of the game, not necessarily the game's difficulty itself. If that makes sense.
It does.
I think I would edge to a 7.
And
I don't know if I could in good conscience give it an 8.
It does, and I somewhat, or I agree with that aspect of it, but I do still think that the difficulty of the game overall, you've got in the 4th level, you've got like the lava that is an instant kill, with the jump mechanics and stuff like that, it could be very tricky. Level 5, if you don't pick the correct path to the Technodrome on your first try, you have to literally get all the way back out of the tunnel and then through another tunnel to find the Technodrome.
With enemies that are a step above the norm.
Yes, with enemies that all respawn and will all be there. And in level 6, it didn't even come down to mechanics or any kind of wonky hit detection or anything like that. That final ascension, I guess, that final tunnel to get to Shredder at the end of the game, that is
straight brutal.
One of the most difficult things I have ever encountered in a video game, in my opinion. And that had nothing to do with the hit detection. It had nothing to do with the jump mechanics, because you're literally just walking.
And so the corridor shrinks.
Yeah, and the corridor keeps shrinking, continually shrinking. So that's why I feel like, there are some inconsistencies. You are absolutely correct about that, where sometimes enemies will all of a sudden, they've been one hit, and then all of a sudden it takes more than one hit to kill them. They're not doing a consistent amount of damage sometimes, but there are elements of the game that, beyond the mechanics of it, make it difficult. And I didn't get shot by Shredder, but he's basically got that ray gun that shrinks you down to your baby turtle, and therefore it's an automatic kill.
Shredder was a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Compared to the rest of the game, even with Shredder being a one-hit kill, he fights like a bitch. I mean, you got him in such a loop.
I did. It was great.
It
made me happy.
It's almost so it's the Super Shredder fight from the live-action movie all over again, where he just kills himself almost.
Mm-hmm.
Where it feels unfair. Like, you're like, this is what I built up for? And
so...
I mean, it definitely wasn't like in the successors, like TMNT 2, where the Shredder fight's fucking harrowing as shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this one was it was just dismal. I don't know,
So I know you feel confident at a 7. I'm
going to stay strong at a 7. I don't think I can do 8. I still think it's hard, but I don't quite think it's 8 hard. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It just makes me really wonder what is going to be an 8 difficult in your book. So
I don't know. I'm trying to think of other games that we rated an 8. What did we give Castle Quest, a 9?
9. I gave it a 9.
We really don't give too many 8s, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I don't know, man.
So,
but anyway,
we can agree to disagree. That's fine.
Oh, we will disagree.
All right. So, fun. What do you think about the fun?
I personally, I give it like a 6. It's a great game. It is sometimes fun to pick up and play, but it's frustrating as all hell. Just with flub jumps on how flighty your characters move. I like that you can swap between the 4 turtles on the fly. Each has their own independent life bar. It's pretty sweet. Each one's unique. I mean, really, you only use Donatello and Leonardo the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, like you said, to use the other two except for cannon fodder or give them some scrolls and then they're just a life bar with scrolls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fun to me, but I feel like it's more frustrating than fun, but still above the curve. So I'd give it a 6.
You know what? I was almost thinking a 7, but I would lower it just to a 6 because I want to try to do this without taking the nostalgia glasses off. Because I think I grew up with this game, so
Yeah,
I played the hell out of it as a kid. And when it boils down to it, I really like this game. I really do. It's I like the aspect of it where you could at will change into any one of the 4 turtles. They each have their own respective weapons, their own respective life bars as well too. They've actually even got their own place. I mean, Leonardo has like a pretty good reach, but he's not that terribly strong. Donatello is overpowered to the extreme, where he's got an incredible reach and incredibly strong, but he's slow. And then you've got Michelangelo and Raphael. Raphael, who has no reach whatsoever, but yet he's extremely strong. And
Is it really?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
And Michelangelo, who has it's unfortunate because he's got the worst of both worlds, where he really doesn't have the best reach, but he's also not strong either. But he's a little bit faster. So I really like that aspect. I really like, even though they really didn't use a lot of solid boss characters like that they really started establishing in like TMNT 2 and TMNT 3 and then the Super Nintendo games and all that stuff.
When this game was made, were those characters even around yet?
In 1989? Yeah.
Oh. For some reason, thought maybe those characters came out later as like the show developed.
Nope, the cartoon came out in 1987, was the first season of it, and so you at least had Rocksteady, Bebop, Krang, Shredder, all of those. In '88, I think General Trag.
Surprised Krang wasn't in it.
Well, and that's one of those things where I was surprised of some of the bosses that they did use and some of the enemy selections, but I mean it was still really good. You had Bebop and Rocksteady, Mecha Turtle, and Slash actually. They even had Slash in there too. The Giant Mouser was really cool, fighting against the Technodrome, which then ended up becoming a staple. Well, actually, no, it really wasn't a staple. It's you've always just kind of went inside the Technodrome, so that was really unique too. And then you fight Shredder. So I mean, great enemy selection. The only qualms that I have with the game is just a lot of the minor enemies are just enemies that I don't know what the hell they were thinking. The chainsaw guy? The orange chainsaw guy?
The weird hedgehog that shot sperm at you?
Yeah, the weird hedgehog thing. The pink alien gal woman, whatever the hell it was, that rolls into a ball. I mean,
the
it's
mechanical weird spider wall grabby things.
It's just
eagles.
Mm-hmm, the bats and stuff. It was just it was a lot of really random enemies, which
I wonder if they just did it for filler. Considering, I wonder how much of the universe they could have used.
Well, and I like the fact that I mean, in some ways, I kind of like the fact that they had that variety, but because in TMNT 2 and TMNT 3, you just fought a bunch of different kinds of foot soldiers. Basically, there was different varying foot soldiers, like colors of foot soldiers. There was the flying ones and
the
stuff,
rock warrior guys,
and then you had the rock warrior guys.
But still, it seemed to cycle between the two.
Yeah, so I mean, there really wasn't too much variety, but at the same time, I mean, the variety that they used was very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game is really fun to pick up and play, but it's a challenge too. If you want to play and beat this game, it's gonna be a challenge.
It's a rough one.
You're gonna get frustrated.
You're gonna get knocked down.
Yeah, but you got to get back up again, and nobody's ever gonna keep you down.
Glad you saw where I was going with that.
I did. I did.
But yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so I'll keep it with you. I'll say 6.
Hey.
I'll say 6. I like this game, but yeah, it does have its flaws. But honestly, it's very easy to see past the flaws because this is just it's a great game.
It is. I mean,
So.
even with the mechanical problems, it's still solid
Yeah.
as far as platforming goes. And it stayed relatively true, I guess, to the source. I don't fucking
Well,
know.
somewhat.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
And hold on, before we even get into that too, one little fun fact, because it is funny that people, when games first came out, people think, okay, this game is great, and then because they improve the formula, like with TMNT2 and TMNT3, people go back to the first one, they're like, wow, this game is absolutely terrible, it's horrible. That is not the case. This game was actually very well loved when it first came out, and actually was a cover story of Nintendo Power, issue number 6.
Yeah.
And in their 1989 awards that Nintendo Power would do annually, I believe this game it either took first or second for best overall game of 1989.
I think I remember that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It was really high up there. So I mean, it was a very well respected, very well loved game when it came out. So if people give this game hate, you're just remember that it wasn't always like that. People used to like this game.
Well, I feel like Link kind of got,
Link-
like Adventures
and
of Link got the
and
same
Link did the
sort
same
of
thing.
criticism.
Link was in 1989 as well, or 1988. It was it was up there for best overall game.
Yeah,
It was
and
one.
then all of a sudden,
all of a
people
sudden
said this game sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe when Link to the Past and that stuff coming out, they're
because
like,
when they changed that formula, and then you
Yeah.
found out that Link that Zelda 2 was so far different from what it used to be, then all of a sudden people are like, oh, this is the black sheep, this is a terrible game, this is a crappy game, and that's just not the case.
Yeah,
So.
and I suppose it's too because, like I said, it's like comparing apples and oranges. You know, the genre changed from the first to the second,
Oh,
and
it
then
did.
stuck with it.
Mhm.
This formula was really never revisited.
No.
It's, I mean, it was Radical Rescue for the Game Boy, which we'll probably play at some point.
Yeah.
And then it was the Danger or whatever you said. What was the other one?
Danger
for
of the Ooze.
Yeah, for the DS.
Metroidvania
So I mean,
style. Yep.
you know, it had its place,
Mhm.
and I mean, there you go.
I like it. So.
Yeah. All right, man. So we'll move on to price point.
Is it worth it?
What did you pay for TMNT?
I never paid anything for this game because I've had it since I was a kid, actually.
Likewise, never spent a cent.
Never spent a cent.
As of today, on PriceCharting.com, this game goes for $7.06. Is this worth it?
Absolutely.
Complete. This
worth-
goes for $24.
I'm surprised it's that cheap, complete.
I'm actually surprised by that too, to be honest with you.
I honestly love the box art and the cover art for it, but then again, I am a little bit biased because the cover art of the original game of TMNT 1 was actually Michael Dooney's artwork from TMNT number 4, the second printing of the comic book series.
Yeah.
That came out in 1988. I think it was February of 1988 that issue came out, and that was the art that they used for it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say this game's worth getting complete. 23
Honestly,
or 24 bucks.
Honestly, at that price, yeah. For the completists out there, yeah. It's not gonna really set you back that much. And you really get a great game.
Yeah, I would say as much as we've panned it, it's a classic. I would say
No,
it's definitely
absolutely.
up there as people's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I would go as high as maybe $23 for this game.
You definitely get your money's worth. It's got a lot of variety. I mean, you're going to be doing
pretty long.
Yeah, you'll do platforming aspects of it. You'll swim around. You'll do an over the top down kind of like a vehicle chase. You get to even use the party wagon, which is cool.
You get to use 3 ropes.
You get to use 3 ropes.
All in succession. Didn't understand that one.
You get to go to JFK International Airport in New York.
Oh, that was a mess.
Yeah. And then you get to go into the sewers and listen to a fun little rendition of "Come Together" by the Beatles, actually, because that song is kind of very heavily influenced by "Come Together."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great soundtrack. Although some of the tunes in there are kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
Kind of bland, but for $7 loose or $23 complete, you really
can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Well, there you guys go. That's a 7-8 for
That's it.
difficulty, 6 for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
If
Yeah,
you-
it's worth it.
If you haven't played this game yet, you gotta check it out.
Give it a try.
Just give it a try.
Give it time.
You'll like it.
It'll take a little getting used to,
Yes, it will.
but it is a little forgiving because you actually can take quite a bit of damage before a turtle falls.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you have 4 separate life bars.
Oh yeah,
So, I mean, you can make it work.
Mhm.
It's just...
absolutely.
Give the game some love, some attention. I think you'll find yourself pleasantly surprised if you haven't played.
I think so.
So, fuck.
All right.
There you go, man.
So hit us up on Facebook.
Hit us up on Twitter!
Check out PowerTripGaming.tv. It takes you right to our channel. And watch our playthrough of TMNT, which is in the description.
Ah.
Click the... What? What?
So... so I'm watching this video.
Oh, this is about how stupid you are.
You know, it pains me sometimes when I rewatch our games. And some of the... We've said some stupid shit on our channel. Inaccurate information. You know, whatever. It's me. I say some really stupid things. Just ignore it for the most part.
But that's the thing, though, is...
I meant through
diversity.
Ah!
Through diversity, you'll get over it.
I meant adversity. Through adversity, we overcome. Not divers. I don't know
It
what
didn't come out that
I
way.
was exhausted. You gotta understand. We record all day long.
Through diversity,
Oh,
we will
fuck.
overcome any challenge that comes our way. Through diversity.
I meant we're gonna go through it, not through doing it. We're gonna do it. I mean, through it.
You're making this work.
Next time on our retrospective.
We'll review something better.
Damn it. So stupid.